Hi YouTube, it's Wade for NAA Awesome. Today is day 3 of my daily video diary, and it's day 3 of my 90-day challenge. During the 90-day challenge, you do your dials, you go on appointments, you submit applications, you check your pending applications, you read books, you listen to audios, you talk to your upline manager, and you recruit. So, let's talk about what I did. Okay, today I did 256 dials. Of the 256, I talked to 12 people. All 12 of them told me no. And it was kind of weird. I was calling on really old leads today, and they were. I wasn't calling the TLPs, So for these were the old bonus leads that my manager gave me when I first started. Some of these are like 4 years old, and like of the 12 people, about half of them had already bought mortgage insurance through a different company. Of those, a lot said, yeah, he works for Farmers. He's got brown hair and glasses. Do you know him? Do I know him? Hey, yeah, she lives in southern LA, and she's a blonde, but she's not natural. The carpets don't match the grapes. Do you know her? Yeah. That was mean, I'm sorry. Okay, so uh, I wasn't able to submit any applications. I did check my pending. My application is there, but I can't find how to contact the insurance company to figure out what's going on. And when I sent my email, they didn't get back to me, but that's not surprising, and I'll get to that in a second. I am ordinarily 45 pages away from the end of the book that I was supposed to finish 3 days ago. Normally, I read about 100 pages in an hour. I have barely had, I've been breaking it up into chunks of like 5 or 10 minutes because of how hectic things are right now. Let's see here. I did listen to an MP3. I listened to Barry Clarkson's Your Business Plan. It's a fantastic MP3. I had to use the last of my present credits. I won't have any more after this because I'm not solvent. But anyway, it's really super good. I left a voicemail for my upline manager. Basically, I said, here's what's going on. This is where I'm at. Call me unless you're talking to people who are productive. And he didn't call me back, so he must be talking to people who are productive. I understand. Recruiting. The reason why my upline isn't getting back to us is because they're doing recruiting today and tomorrow. And I submitted 13 names for that list. So, I understand that they're not getting back to me. They're busy doing other stuff, and then they want to go home. In addition to that, I did submit what's it called? I did post an ad on Craigslist in one of my preferred cities. Let me explain this really quick. When you invest in real estate, you want to buy homes to rent out in cities that they are hiring and that wages are going up. Okay, you want to have that. You want housing to be at a shortage, and you want there to be, companies that are either moving into the area or the companies that are expanding. That's how you're going to be successful. If you buy real estate just anywhere, it can really bite you in the rear end. These applications, or the ads that I'm placing on Craigslist, I'm kind of putting a twist on that. I'm looking for areas where a company has recently laid off a large group of people. That a place that's actually expanding because housing is at a shortage. Not housing is at a shortage, that people are moving out of apartments into homes. That the market has opened up for them, which that's more often than not. You keep hearing about how people can't get a mortgage from a bank, but there are people who can. So that's where I do my ads, and I've got a series of cities picked out. And to think about it like this, I basically put them in a circle like a clock, And as the hand goes around, it's going to hit each one of these cities. And when it finally comes back around, it's not going to be that thing. I don't know if you've ever looked at Craigslist, but like you'll see the same ad over and over and over again, and people won't call it because they're like, this is disgusting. You know, this place is always hiring. There must be something wrong with them. Anyway, that's what goes through my head and the people I talk to. We're all in the same wavelength. If somebody's always hiring, like how AT&T Wireless is always hiring, you know, the Tulsa AT&T Wireless is just, anyway, there's a reason why certain companies are always hiring, and normally it's because they treat their employees poorly. And if you see those ads on Craigslist over and over and over again, if you're not into, like, you know, insurance and all that other stuff, just, I recommend you look someplace else. Okay, so there's that. Now let's talk a little bit about these conference calls. I was on conference calls from 7 o'clock in the morning until 1. I was originally going to be on a conference call at 9, and that would get over about 10, and then I had another conference call at noon, and that would get over at 1. However, I was invited to attend some other conference calls, and it was one of the things where they're like, look, you're not supposed to be on this, but, and, you know, there's, let me think about how to explain this. Ignorance is one thing. If you're ignorant about something, meaning you honestly didn't know, okay, I'll give you a pass. Stupidity is when you know something and you ignore it. If you know that there's a conference call, and like there's a lot of people for NAA that are like this, they actually think it's more important to go on an appointment to try and get a sale than to attend a conference call. I don't agree with this, and I know that's ironic considering the fact that I'm dying to go on an appointment to make a sale. But the thing is that during these conference calls, you are going to be exposed to stuff that is going to have long-term effects on how good you can be at your job. You might make more sales. You might learn of a product that you didn't know of that's going to help you get more customers better or help more people better. Part of the thing that I don't agree with is that they will, the culture that I'm a part of, one of the guys actually said out loud, you need to be at your meetings. If your family's having a family reunion and you go to your family reunion instead of the meeting, you're stupid. That's bullshit. My grandmother, if we had a family reunion and I didn't go and my grandmother died the next year, my whole family's going to give me the stink eye. But if you're blowing off your conference calls so that you can make a sale, that's, I mean, realistically, these conference calls only come up a couple times a week, and you can move around, you can work your schedule around that. That's just my personal feeling. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. I don't want to, I mean, let me say it better. Different people think different ways. It doesn't make them better, it doesn't make them worse. It's just the way that people think, and that's the way I think. Okay? So let's not argue. Alright, so in addition to that, Justin Tripp called me, and we were talking, and pretty much he understands my financial situation, and he gave me a bit of advice. And he explained the type of leads that I'm calling are just atrocious. That it's like, you know, looking for a needle in a haystack is pretty much what he attributed it to. And he said, it's not really going to work for you. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. So he basically broke it down for me. And he said, look, here's what you need to do. You need to get the money so that you can buy 5 A leads, 5 mortgage A leads. He said, you need to be able to do that every week until you're proficient enough that you have enough income coming in so that you can purchase 10 A leads a week. And then you need to get up to buying from, after you're proficient enough and you've got enough cash flow coming in, you need to purchase 15 A leads a week. And then you need to move from 15 A leads a week to 20 A leads a week. At 20 A leads a week, even if you're not a good salesman, the number of applications that you're going to submit and the law of averages with the applications that will be approved I will basically be at the level that I want to be at. And he said, you need to do that as quick as possible, because the path that you're following, it's not going to get you where you want to go. And he really, I mean, he basically pretty much said, dude, every time you do this, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot and you're in a marathon. And he goes, if you think about how far you're going to be able to go, it's just going to get more and more painful, and you're going to lose more and more blood. And I was like, okay, I get it. So I got to talk to my upline manager and see what we can do about that. But I believe in it. I sent my upline my upline manager told me yesterday that he would get me leads, and I haven't gotten them yet. I sent the person that's in charge of sending the leads out an email saying, that my upline manager had mentioned this. Did he mention it to you? And where are we on that? And then I asked another question. And I said, hey, here's the thing. I talked to Justin Tripp, and this is what he said, and I'm going to find a way to get 5 A leads. How much am I going to expect to spend? And the thing is that these prices, they're not the same for everybody. Like the prices are, let me think about how to explain it. They're artificially low for people who really can't afford them. They kind of supplement the cost. The management takes a loss on them to provide them at that cost for you. But they get more expensive the more successful you are, because you can basically carry your own weight in cost. I want to start purchasing A leads, and I'm going to do them through the instant purchase. They're more expensive that way, but I don't care, because even if I can only buy 1 a week, and then I can buy 2 a week, and then I can buy 3 a week, it's going to take me longer. But I mean, I understand what Justin's saying, where he's like, look, this is ridiculous. And when you listen to the conference calls for other managers, they don't put their new hires on the path that I'm on. They put their new hires on a completely different path, and I want to be on the path that they put their new hires on. So I need to, look, the thing about life is that people who sit there and, I'm going to use the word lament. If you don't know what it means, look it up. Google, it's really good about definitions. They lament about the things that they wish they had and sit around all day wailing about it. Okay, or you can basically say, this is where I am, this is what I've got to work with, let me make the best of what I can do. And that's what I'm doing. I've got 90 days to get up to being at the level that I want to be at as a starter. Realistically speaking, I'm like 3 months behind on where I want to be at the end of this 90 days as I am now. So I'll be 6 months behind it. But I really, really, really want this, and I'm willing to do almost anything. The irony, I'm trying to get a part-time job so that I can get out of debt, so I can start paying bills, and so I can start buying leads and buying the real leads. And the only people that are offering me jobs are insurance agencies. Isn't that ironic? But anyway, so that's where I am. That's the end of the 3rd day. You know what? Hey, peace, man. And if you want something, go out and look for it, because if you sit and wait for somebody to give it to you, that ain't going to happen very often. Bye.